How's it going, guys? Today we're here at beautiful Fort Pierce, Florida in St. Lucia County. The port itself is beautiful. It's a wonderful place to just really sightsee. There's a museum here. There's an aquarium here. There's a nice big kids park here out on a point. It's got a playground, tons of places to ride bikes. There's another point out the road here that's another nice park. It's not really for kids, but it's a good place to ride bikes and sightsee. There's also a lot of fishing. There's a fishing pier. Really a little bit of everything to do here. Tons of restaurants. There's some hotels, a lot of VRBO houses. It's really part of the hidden gem of St. Lucia County. It's a historic Fort Pierce. There's a lot of old buildings from when it used to be a naval port. There's peacocks arcing right down the road there. It's like a little shopping center. It's right downtown Fort Pierce. There's a little bit of everything. There's this is on the other side of the river from the ocean side. And then on the river side, it's more of a beachy feel. See all the boats in Marina. It's definitely a fishing and sailing part of Florida, the whole St. Lucia County. This is all you see is boats. There's a lot of golfing down here also. It really is a hidden gem of Florida. There's at least 3 parks that I've seen in Fort Pierce, and they're all very nice. There's a lot of things to do in the parks. 2 of the parks have kids play sets. One park has a bunch of pavilions and stuff. There's a museum, and then there's also a history museum, and there's an aquarium. There's a dock over there. They're unloading barges. We're just crossing over Indian River here. This runs clear down to Stuart. You see a lot of sailboats, fishing boats. You can see the U.S. Coast Guard boat right there. There's 3 of these bridges from between here and Stuart, so there's plenty of places to about every 10 miles or so. There's a bridge like this across the river. You can see how big the river is. There's another bridge up there, so there's actually 4. The ocean here. See the waves way out there, and the river's right there. There's a bunch of islands up in Fort Pierce that kind of combines the ocean and the river. From Fort Pierce down to Stuart, it's a land bridge the whole way. But there's a nice park out here where the river meets the ocean also. A lot of small motels and restaurants are out here also. It really is. It's a really beautiful place. So now we're heading south on A1A out of Fort Pierce. The next beach, we're going to cross Hutchinson Island and we're going to come into Jensen Beach. It's about a 10-mile drive. On the way, there's a bunch of public beach accesses like this, and there's a lot of big houses and a little bit of everything. It's mainly public beach accesses, and then every once in a while you come across a row of townhouses or a big public house. The farther you get away from the islands, the less frequent that houses and villas and stuff are. Another cool thing, if you're into bicycling, there's a bike trail that runs the whole length from Stuart up to Fort Pierce. I don't know the exact distance, but it's right around 20 miles. So if you went up there and back, you're talking a 40-mile bike trip. So it would be a whole day event, which would be really cool. So we're just north of Jensen Beach here. Here's a good look at the river. People just hanging out. When I say there was beach access the whole way up and down here, there's also beach access to the riverside, even in the middle of the dunes and stuff. But you can see right here on the, what would be the right side here is the river, and on the left side is the Atlantic Ocean. So there's only a few places in the country I know where you can go from this calm of water to, you know how intense the Atlantic Ocean can be. And it offers different types of fishing also. There's some boats up on the pier. Jensen Beach, it has some more. This is actually Hutchinson Island. It's just north of Jensen. It's got a lot of high rises and stuff. You won't find this in downtown Jensen itself, or Fort Pierce, or Stuart. This is the only place you can get an abundance of these high rises, like luxury resorts. That's not to say that you can't visit the other places. It's just you have more of a mom and pop motel and or like VRBO homes. There is a very nice Marriott resort in Stuart, but it's a little bit, it's off the ocean. It's up against the river. Their golf course goes up against the ocean, and I think they do have a few, maybe a tower or so that's up against the ocean, but for the most part it's on the river. We're going to be going through that here in a little while. There's actually an RV resort here on a Hutchinson Island. I believe it's called Venture Out or Holiday Out or something like that. I know they got a place down in Key West, or not in Key West, but up between Key West and Marathon Key. It's a pretty nice place to camp. I know that my parents was down in the one down south last week, and they said it was very nice. We're leaving Hutchinson Island, and actually entering Jenson Beach. Jensen Beach itself is at the southern end of Hutchinson Island. There's no high rises here. It's mainly townhomes, and there's a few VRBO homes also. It's got more of a laid back, just old school beach feeling, where the northern part of Hutchinson Island has a more of a resort feel. We're at there's a traffic circle in the middle of Jensen. It runs over, there's a bridge just like up in Fort Pierce. We're gonna go ahead and cross it, go over and check out downtown Jensen Beach. Now this downtown Jensen Beach is actually on you gotta cross the river, and it's on the actual peninsula of Florida side, not out on the island part. You can see we're heading in towards downtown Jensen. This is the middle bridge. Like I said, there's one up in Fort Pierce, there's one in Jensen, and then there's one down in Stuart also we're gonna cross. We're crossing the Indian River right here. If you look way down there, you can see the bridge down in Stuart. And then Fort Pierce is north about 10 miles. You can't even really see the bridge up there from Jensen. It's so far up north. Stuart and Jensen Beach are really close together. They're only about 5 miles apart. Beach has a nice marina also. It's not as big as Fort Pierce, but there's still a big fishing community here. So what we're doing, we're just gonna drive down the peninsula side now of the river, from Jensen down to Stuart. Jensen has a nice old, it's a historic section actually. It kind of reminds you of Key West, like the Duval Street. Bunch of old buildings and stuff. It doesn't have the atmosphere of Duval, but just the architecture. But there's still a lot of nice mom and pop restaurants here in Jensen. We'll run down 707 out of Jensen down into Stuart. Another nice big RV park here in Jensen also. You find a lot of RV storage places down here too. So if you don't want to if you're just gonna be camping down in Florida, you don't want to touch your camper back to another part of the country, you can leave it down here. Just pick it up and go whenever you want to go camping. This RV park here is called Ocean Breeze. It's a real big place. The peninsula side of the river looking out towards the island. So this is actually the river, and on the other side of that island out there is the ocean. A1A runs down along that island. Here's the marina. It's in between Stuart and Jensen Beach. There's a nice resort here. It's on the peninsula side of, this would still be technically called Jensen, but it's at the very southern tip of Jensen before we get into Stuart. Now we're running at a place called Sewell's Point. It's just a, it's really a portion of Stuart. It's just the peninsula side of Stuart. There's actually a center island that runs down through the river also, like you can see right there. So we're back up at the intersection of A1A with Sewell's Island, or Sewell's Point, I think it's called. We're gonna turn right to go to downtown Stuart. If you turn left here, it would take you out to the beach part of, or the ocean side of Stuart. There's a peninsula, if you look right here. Right now, we're pretty much sitting on an island in the middle of the Indian River. A bit of shopping here on Sewell's Point, but not a whole lot. The majority of your shopping's in downtown Stuart on this part of the A1A, and then up in Fort Pierce on the northern part. So this is Stuart here. It's a bunch of, mainly inland is a bunch of shops and houses, and then what you do is you cross the river and it takes you into the beach. See, there's a lot of development going on here in Stuart. Really the whole way up and down A1A, but Stuart's really seeing the brunt of it. We're gonna go ahead and cross the first bridge off of the main peninsula, which takes us to Sewell's Point, which we just visited over there. It's the peninsula in the middle of the river. And then from there, we go onto the outside peninsula, which is the ocean side. We're dropping down off the first bridge now. If you look way up there, you can see the second bridge. Some nice big houses on the, out towards the point on Sewell's Island, or Sewell's Point. Out there's the main peninsula of Stuart, the outer peninsula. There's two things on there. There's a big Marriott resort with a golf course, and then out on the very end of the peninsula is another golf, it's actually a golf club. It's called Sewell Point, or Sailfish Point. It's a gated golf club. It's the Marina of Stuart. It's a lot smaller because there's not as many houses and stuff on Stuart, on the beach side. When you get out on the outside peninsula, you turn right and you head down. It actually looks like you're entering the Marriott resort, but you actually drive through the middle of the Marriott resort. It says Hutchinson Island, but we're actually not on Hutchinson Island at this point. At the golf course at the Marriott. I believe the Marriott, I can't say this for sure, but I believe they have some, you can see them villas. I think they have the villas on this side, on the ocean side, and then also they have villas on the river side. And there's a golf course in between. I was actually wrong too. Stuart, I guess, is on Hutchinson Island also below Jenson Beach. So Stuart Beach is actually the lowest portion of Hutchinson Island. Get out of the Marriott, it looks real similar to Sewell's Point. You just drive down a roadway, but it's real skinny, so most of the houses out here have a private beach on the ocean side and on the beach side. You can rent a lot of these houses VRBO. Ocean side, and I mean riverside. You can really see here, the river's right there. And then this is the sand dunes on the beach. Right on the other side is the ocean. Example, you got an ocean ocean view on that side, and then they all got their private beaches and docks on the riverside. And you can book a lot of these VRBO. I hope you guys found this video helpful, especially if you're debating on which place to visit in Florida. For sure, if you're looking for a place you've never been before that's beautiful, that has a lot of restaurants and a lot of scenery, St. Lucia County might be the place for you. I know we covered a lot in this video, but here's a quick summary. Fort Pierce has the most things to do, in my opinion. It's got the big harbor, and there's all kinds of restaurants and parks and things of that sort. Hutchinson Island, well, at least the mid to top portion of Hutchinson Island is more of a resort atmosphere. So if you're into a lot of people and the resort atmosphere, that's the place for you. And down on the southern portion of Hutchinson Island in Stuart, that's the most secluded. That's where you'll find most of your beach houses, and it's also the only place where you'll find some houses that have both beachfront and on the back part riverfront property. If you guys find this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications for whenever we upload new videos of destinations we're visiting. For now, stay safe out there, everyone.